Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. I'm Jonathan Charney. He's James Stevens.
Hello.
And the guy in the lower left-hand corner is Ryan Preston. This week we review the movie Drive. This is a show where we review everything from the silent movie Metropolis to the latest craptastic Ryan Reynolds movie. And since this was James' pick this week, I think I'll have him have the honor of his opinion on this wonderful movie.
Okay, so this movie Drive is directed by Nicolas Refn, whatever the hell that means. Anyway, and it's also starring Ryan Gosling, who I actually like. I do like Ryan Gosling. So, my biggest issue with this movie is it's a lie. That's it. It's truly a lie. This movie was made last year. It's got like big rave reviews. There's a lot of people loving this movie.
Yeah, this movie was a 2011, but it's also based off a book I found out.
Yes, it is based off a book
by James Salas. It was made in 2005.
Yeah, but the movie is a lie. I mean, Ryan agrees with me on this one. I know he does.
Oh, absolutely. No, with the amount of reviews that it got, it was just baffling that I couldn't find more than about 14 seconds of that movie to enjoy.
The thing that amazed me is this has an 8.0 rating on IMDb. I mean, that's astounding.
Okay,
are you guys that should be reserved for the highest,
exactly
highest praised movies.
Okay, you guys ready to get a little pissed off?
Yeah,
I'll give it a shot.
Okay, I've got some snippets of critics' reviews because I actually looked at this 8.0 rating and I'm like, okay, why is this movie getting such high acclaim? There's got to be a reason that I'm missing here. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, I'll give the critics' reviews a few little chances and see what they say. So this is the first one I'm going to read. I'm not going to tell you who these critics are.
Aww.
But, I mean, you guys can look them up. I think it's
out
a
of
little
fear
bit...
of retaliation or what's up?
No, I feel it's not... Since we're starting a critic show, we shouldn't actually go and bash critics that are out there yet. I think it should be somewhat that we give them a little respect and not just diss them. I mean, if I really wanted to, I would rip these guys a new asshole that they can do that, take craps out of their head, because that's about all their brain is good for. So, anyway... The first part, I'm going to read little snippets of it, and I want to hear your guys' feedback on what these people are trying to say about this movie, okay? So the first part is, it starts out just like this craptastic movie. Buckle up for the existential bloodbath of Drive, a brilliant piece of nasty business that races on a B-movie track until it switches to the dizzying feel and undiluted creativity. Damn, it's good. You can get buzzed from the fumes coming off this wild thing. Hold on, don't rip that apart yet. I got more coming from this same person. Let's see, where to go. There we go. Okay. Now, this next part, I am so utterly ashamed that this person even brought this up. Chances are you could play the name that influences the game for days, and I'd happily join you. But that'd be a disservice to Drive, since Refn, like Quentin Tarantino, has the gift of assimilating film history into a fresh take carrying his DNA. Take his fetishistic eye, that's what they wrote, sorry, for detail. From driver's toothpick to the satin bomber jacket with a gold scorpion on his back. What is this supposed to mean?
Okay,
Please tell me when I can start talking shit.
Well, see,
okay, hold on.
Damn it!
I'm giving this one to Ryan to start off.
Okay, hold on a second. First off, did that person just compare Quentin Tarantino to the writer of this to the director of this movie?
Yes.
Is that what I just heard?
Yes. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm wondering how much of this movie is like the book, because I'll refuse after watching the movie. I'm absolutely refusing to ever read the book.
Well, I can't imagine it's anything like the book. Otherwise, the book would be 14 pages long, because that's how much dialogue was in that movie. Oh,
by the way, my number one complaint was trying to make this, was it like No Home for Old Men or whatever it is, where they had a minimal soundtrack?
Oh, there was a big soundtrack in there.
Everything. They minimalized everything. And are they going to seriously tell me that the attention to detail was in the toothpick and the bomber jacket? That was the worst attention to detail. That was basically like, hey, you know what would look cool? Put a toothpick in his mouth. He's not saying anything, so have him chew on something.
Okay. Well, don't forget the detail where he strapped his watch to the steering wheel. for some reason. Because he couldn't look up or look at his watch while he had, his hands at 2 and 10.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready for more?
Wait, no.
I want to get these through because these are the ones that.
Well, here, my first thing is the first review. Who gave that guy a freaking, thesaurus? Existential? Really?
Really, existential. That's the word he chose for that, huh?
I could have chosen a lot more words with a lot less. It would have been a 4-letter word, but. Maybe 5. I could be creative.
No, and I'd like to point out again, honestly, that I agree with James that he said at the beginning that I like Ryan Gosling. I really do. I think he's a fantastic actor, and obviously I'm not gonna to jump on the bandwagon of like all these people that are just picking crappy projects. I'm sure they thought it was gonna be something good, but they just took way too many stylistic choices that really brought that shit down.
So my guess, your favorite Ryan Gosling movie was The Notebook?
Actually, honestly, that wasn't that bad of a movie.
Notebook was a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I wouldn't go as far as to say I love it, but I thought it was actually pretty good.
It was a great movie. My favorite one of his probably would be The Believer.
Oh yeah, The Believer was fantastic.
I'm actually not sure if I've seen that movie.
That's a movie that's actually
about a Jewish neo-Nazi. If that's all I need to say, go check it out.
Actually, that's one of the ones that I told you to watch, huh?
That's one we watched together, James, as a matter of fact.
Okay, that's true. Well, I actually had watched it before, but I probably had to watch it again.
My number one complaint is Ron Perlman. Can he ever say no to anything? I've seen him in so many bad movies lately.
Seriously. I agree.
Okay.
He must have a coke habit that won't quit.
Yeah, he's got to have some kind of expensive habit, like he likes to hunt humans in the Bahamas or something.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to find this one thing that really pissed me off in one of these reviews that needed to be brought up. And the reason why I'm bringing this one up is because of the fact that this movie, as John just said, had an 8.0 IMDb rating. Now, there's another movie that reminds me just exactly of this movie in the sense that it's a lie. In the sense that so many people love this movie, they give it high acclaim, but it's a lie. And this director off of this movie has made tons of money in other movies and gotten so much respect. The movie is Taxi Driver. That movie pisses me off to no end. Okay?
I've tried to watch that movie a lot over the years, and I fall asleep every time.
Now, the reason why I bring this movie up and compare it to Drive right now is because there's a lot of stylistic things in there, such as the fact that there's only one really, really good scene in Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
That's it. The rest of it is this boring dialogue that you're sitting there like, is that movie actually going to do something? It's the same with Drive.
Where's the good scene in Drive?
The opening scene. The opening car chase.
Okay.
If you watch that, you've seen the whole movie. Just throw the rest away. Because that car chase is fantastic. Go ahead.
You glossed over something really quick.
Okay, sorry.
That opening car chase. I was in the theater watching this movie, okay?
You paid money to see this in theater?
I think I did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
What, did you owe somebody a favor? What the hell made you go see this movie in theaters?
Anyway, look, I'm watching this movie. The opening car chase, I'm actually sitting there thinking for about the first 45 seconds, wow, somebody's actually doing a car chase in Los Angeles that looks like it's going to be worth a damn, I mean, based on that, you'd really expect that thing to just really carry that's just...
Damn, you were had.
Yeah, I really was. I
got ripped off on that one, too.
Here's my number one complaint, period. Number one complaint. The movie's called Drive. There's 3 car scenes in the entire effing movie.
Yeah.
They should have called it incredibly boring hour and 40 minutes. I mean, this literally within the first 45 minutes of this movie, I was hoping it was going to be over. This is literally the most boring movie I've seen in 20 years. I'd rather watch Titanic than this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous that, I mean, people really give this movie so much credit.
Well, I think what I've understood so far since the movie came out until now is the reason it's been getting so much credit is because I don't know if it's people wanting to reconnect with the 80s or if they're just thinking, oh, it's a callback to another time, but it really wasn't even too good of a callback to the 80s. You know
How,
what I mean?
how was it a callback to the 80s? I mean, I'm curious on that, because I didn't sense anything from the 80s of that. Except maybe the ugly-ass jacket.
From what I understand, it was a lot of I think it took place in the 80s, didn't it? Wasn't it supposed to take place in like the
I don't know when it actually was supposed to take place. I wasn't really paying that much attention to the movie.
I didn't get the feeling of that, honestly. That was
I did a little bit from the soundtrack, especially from the opening credits sequence.
Yes, the opening credits was definitely 60s, 70s, 80s is what somebody was saying. 60s, 70s, 80s. I do see some of the cursive script in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
It was like that Miami Vice kind of feel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I think my number one complaint, though, besides the drive, is just the soundtrack. I mean, they say it's like, I've heard it said it was an all-star cast. It seemed like a ripoff of No Country for Old Men, which had no soundtrack. But without the soundtrack on this movie, it's slow. I mean, the pacing on this movie is dull.
Yeah, absolutely dull. The pacing was one of the weirdest types of pacing I've ever seen in a movie. Because it had, like I said, in the opening car chase, I mean, you're thinking, okay, this is actually gonna get some credit. But then it's just so many scenes of Ryan Gosling, of that close up right here on his just toothpick
or his jacket.
Yeah.
Or his jacket, his bloody jacket. Now tell me, why wouldn't you take off the blood? Never mind. I'm not going to even get into the choices the character makes in the movie, because it's just not worth it.
I mean,
And the other thing that I really thought was going to be a saving grace was the violence in this movie, because there were
really was no violence.
Here's the thing: there were a couple of really good scenes that were really fast paced. It was like, okay, this is where it's going to get good, and then it was over 30 seconds later.
I can count how many times that movie got bloody on one hand.
Yeah, but there were like 2 or 3 really good scenes where he did some, like the scene in the elevator, where he was telling, he had the chick move behind him and he started beating the crap out of the guy.
Yeah, that was nice. That really was nice. But I mean, one of the other reasons that people are giving this movie credit. Now, I want to see if you guys caught this, because I paid attention to this. They talked about camera angles. This movie is great because it's camera angles. The way that the guy did it. Screw that.
I'm not sure if I agree with that.
You cannot base how good a movie is on camera angles. How many freaking times did you get a close-up of Ryan Gosling with his hand on the steering wheel with a camera on the dashboard? Really? That's a camera angle?
I mean,
that's a fantastic camera angle. You know what makes a good movie a good story? Character development? Plot lines?
A soundtrack?
Not even a soundtrack.
But for this movie required a soundtrack.
This movie required a soundtrack, absolutely.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I was about ready to put on the Division bell. It was so bad.
But it's just horrible that people try to base their ratings on that. I mean, that's the same thing that, again, another movie that Taxi Driver. They try to claim that there was
the Taxi Driver was the cinematography. It was
was annoying.
Only Martin Scorsese can sit there on a diner scene with 2 people talking to each other across from each other and move the camera consistently the whole time.
And people like it.
It's 4 minutes of a scene of 2 people talking across each other, and I couldn't believe how much that camera fucking moved.
I mean, you would get nauseous off that camera. You really could.
I forgot about that.
Oh my gosh, man. It was insane.
He rented
that movie took 45 minutes to do absolutely anything. But I know we're not talking about Taxi Driver right now. Let's get back to it.
Okay, hold on. I have another thing on this. This is another user review. This is a user review, not a critic review, from IMDb. That this person, and I want to bring this up because I want to hear your guys' thing. I'm offended that this person actually did this.
Okay.
That he said this.
Offended.
Not one negative review, and this is talking about the driver. Not one negative review is credible unless you were raised on Transformer and Fast and Furious pictures. Then I guess you would need more CG, louder music, and bad dialogue so you could understand the film easier. Or maybe you just need more imagery, computerized cars doing spectacular things on screen to hold your attention.
What a schlemiel.
The fact is, this is a fantastic film filled with great performances, some of the best chase sequences since Bullet. Since Bullet. Really?
Chase sequences. There's only like one in the entire movie, maybe two.
And then he finishes us off with "Be smart."
Hold on. Are we still using Bullet as the criteria for a good car chase?
I know. Hold on.
Come on.
Hold
man.
on. This is
still a good car chase.
This is the
It's
last
a great
thing that
car
really.
chase, but I mean, they just basically they filmed the same car going around the same corner, 60 different times.
Yeah.
And chopped it up. So
this is the last thing they say. Be smart. See films that matter. What the hell do you mean? Drive matters? This movie does not matter.
Well, here's my theory on what you said earlier about, if the, good cinematography. If this was a film that was one of those Sundance films that was, crappy plot, but it had amazing camera angles and cinematography. Right. If you're really into that, I think camera angles and all that really mattered. This was not one of those movies.
No.
This was one of those movies that I thought was just, poor to begin with. But, that was trying to be like Fast and Furious, but serious. I mean, that's kind of the drift I got out of it.
A couple things it
seemed to me they took a script that must have been only about 80 pages long, if that, and then decided to fill the rest of it with like
silence?
you said, cinematography or just. It was just so over stylized to the point where I didn't know whether I was supposed to be paying attention to how stylized it was or what it was going on in the actual movie.
There wasn't that much going on in the actual movie. The problem with this is that they're trying they're trying to make this Ryan Gosling's character, the driver, into this supposed superhero.
Yeah, this mysterious.
And I'm okay with mysterious. I love the Man with No Name series where they did not go into any of the background.
Did any of the reviews you read compared this to the Clint Eastwood's character?
Yes, they did.
Seriously?
The one I just finished, he compared it to all of the old westerns, the Man with No Name series, which really pissed me off again.
Oh, by the way,
because hold on.
Damn it.
The thing about all the Man with No Name series is they had stories. There was a lot of a base behind everything going on. There was history. There was background. They didn't do any of that in this movie. The only thing that they even compared like some background to was Ron Perlman and the other Jew guy who had these
Albert
guys.
Brooks. Show some fucking respect.
Shut up, Jew guy. Back in Chicago.
From a Jewish guy. That's allowed.
Anyway, I know they had really great cast. They really did.
Yeah, that was another thing that was irritating to me is you have such an incredible cast, which basically means that all of these people read the script and were like, yeah, this sounds like a good idea.
I know. And then some jackass tries to compare to Quentin Tarantino, who did the same thing with Harvey Keitel.
Oh, man.
I mean, he passed the script off, and Harvey Keitel read it and said, I'm going to back you guys. And that's what this guy's trying to compare it to. No! Well, and I'm also offended that some jackass put on there that it's a B movie. This was not a B movie. This does not classify as a B movie. You want to see a B movie, go look up Wicked and Trauma. Those are B movies.
Yeah, but Trauma was better than this. Red Dead Zombies was more entertaining than this movie.
At least Trauma was actually a little self-aware.
Oh, yeah, exactly. The thing that I don't understand, and I was really, after I watched it, I was trying to understand it, is the characters that they put together really have no connection. That girl, that woman in there with a kid.
He just wanted to get laid.
Yeah, well, that didn't really make any sense. How they combined things was really, just was not connected.
It was the same way that, I hate to bring up Taxi again, but it's the same way that they connected the characters in Taxi. He had no idea where this 12-year-old prostitute came from. Hey, hop in the back of my car. What the hell? Seriously? You're going to see some 12-year-old prostitute. You're already a creepo. Seriously. It's the same thing with this guy. He all of a sudden sees some little kid. Oh, I'm going to be your father figure. Come with me, little boy. Oh, your daddy's in jail. Here, let me go take care of everybody for him. Yeah. Seriously?
And the other thing is, like, they made this guy, all of a sudden, he wants to help that guy out. And they don't even present him as a bad guy in the movie. Then all of a sudden, he wants to help people out.
Well, they did present him as a bad guy in the beginning of the movie. That whole car chase scene. I mean, he was transporting people who were robbing a place. Who does that? A bad guy.
But that doesn't even make me care about the guy or hate the guy. I mean, that doesn't bring any sort of emotion.
The dad or
the driver?
Okay.
I mean, the scene in the beginning didn't really give me any sense of, I hate this guy or I like this guy. There was no sense enough for me to have any feeling sort of why I cared why this guy was helping this guy out.
The only thing I thought was the guy's got skill. I mean, he definitely has skill. That's what the first thing they portray is this guy has skill. I mean, he did all that, negotiated it.
Well, they got to have a reason to call it driver.
Yeah,
that's the only
another
thing.
thing is like okay, this guy is such an incredible driver. He's got like three actually legitimate jobs. One of them is a mechanic, as a really good mechanic, I imagine. The other one is a Hollywood stuntman. And what the hell does he need to be, doing getaway car shit for? Have you seen the apartment this guy lives in?
He's bored.
I mean, trust me, he could afford that apartment with his Hollywood stunt gig.
Oh, yeah, he can afford that one, and then with everything else on the backup, dude, he's got bank lying around.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand they were trying to go for this mysterious character, this mysterious Hollywood stuntman, mechanic / getaway driver kind of thing, but
it didn't even make me care about him.
Nothing in that movie made me understand any of this guy's motives at all.
Exactly.
It just made me think he was a sociopath.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially considering he just randomly beats up people.
Pretty sociopathic.
Well, my favorite scene.
It's like me when I'm playing Grand Theft Auto.
I think that's what that movie was supposed to be. GTA.
My favorite random scene is when he busts into that strip club and just starts beating the guy up, and he grabs a bullet and was going to hit it with a hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the one scene I'm like, do it! And it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
What a letdown.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Anybody who compares the director, who compares the director to Quentin Tarantino, you seriously suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's baffling to me. I mean, for one, Tarantino is a writer director. He makes his own movies. You know what I'm saying?
He does.
He's not a guy who catches a script and then tries to throw his own little crappy spin on it.
I mean, Kill Bill, fantastic movie.
Pulp Fiction,
great movie. And then you can even throw in the newest one that he did that is a masterpiece, Inglourious Bastards. That is a full-fledged masterpiece.
Okay, Jackie Brown.
Okay, that's garbage.
Okay. Okay.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is
every director has a bad.
Well,
no, here's my question. The worst, and in my opinion, Jackie Brown was the worst Tarantino movie. Compare it to The Driver. Which one's better?
I would watch Jackie Brown on a marathon style for 3 days.
Jackie Brown has an incredible story to it. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
It might be long and a little drawn out, and the actors are a little crappy, but still, it has a story.
Well, yeah, I'll give you. The actors were really crappy, but I mean, the thing about it was that it was still a way better story, way better thought out,
absolutely,
and 1,000 times executed better than this movie.
And here's my literally the initial thought after seeing it is this seemed like a weak ripoff of The Transporter.
I thought the same thing off the bat.
With no violence, no soundtrack, and no point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Transporter seemed to be a little more self-aware than this movie did. You know what I mean? A little more on the nose as far as like, look, we know we're just making this crazy action movie with this Jason Statham cat. But Drive, it just took itself way too seriously.
It did.
Thought that it was it just had its head up its own ass the whole damn time.
But there was a point to it, though. I mean, that was the thing that I liked about The Transporter. There was an end game of every movie had an end game.
I thought you meant there was a point to this movie. I'm
wait,
what was the point?
Well, Driver, every movie had an Transporter, excuse me.
Okay.
Transporter, every movie had a point. There was an end game to the movie that you could see or you were rooting for. There was no reason to want to finish this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, besides
I was not invested.
Well, I mean,
really.
you did want to see him finish off the mob bosses, guys.
Not really.
I just wanted to see if he was ever going to take off that bloody bomber jacket. He's walking around at 4:00 in the afternoon with a blood-soaked jacket, and it's
I know, in LA.
White jacket with blood.
Well, not only that, but it's LA. Who really walks around in the sun when it's probably 80, 95? With a bomber jacket.
But the blood disappears. If you notice, it'll be a scene, and the one scene it was there, the next scene it was gone. It's like seriously, how many jackets that ugly do you guys have around?
That's the editor's fault. I mean, that seriously comes down to the editor's fault. That's a bad cut. I mean, I understand. I understand bad cuts. I do. I forgive a lot of bad cuts where you're looking at a drink and all of a sudden it's empty, and then they go back, and then they come back.
Attributed to they're going to film certain scenes before other scenes, so it could have been just before.
I understand that, but I mean, there should be somebody looking like, that cup is a quarter filled. Oh wait, there are 3/4. I guess we're not going to fix that. That's laziness.
There is a person that is supposed to be on top of that.
I know. It's called an editor.
Okay,
so... No, not the editor. Before the editor.
I know, before the editor.
on set.
The best boy, the grip.
So, okay, final thoughts. Ryan, what is your final thought on this movie? And what was your rating on this movie?
My rating, I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 5. And the only reason I'm really going that high is because I can kind of see. Never mind. I cannot see any way that they were trying to go with this movie. Really, just talking about it the last 20 minutes, I've realized that they were just so full of shit. I'm trying to sum up what I'm thinking here.
I know you are.
That's a pretty good synopsis of what you're thinking.
I guess so, man. It's
You're just baffled at how bad this movie is.
Stylized, really poorly executed. I really enjoy the actors, and
I do too.
I love Albert Brooks. I mean, Albert Brooks is one of my favorite comedic actors of all time, and he was just so miscast in this movie.
I think everybody was miscast in this movie.
Everybody was miscast. Well, everybody should have taken that script and just taken it into the bathroom with them. Ron Perlman, Sons of Anarchy is the only thing that guy needs to ever do again, because everything else I've ever seen him in, can't stand him.
I really liked him in the Aliens 4. Aliens 4 was a bad movie, but I liked his character at least.
Yeah, absolutely. But other than that, I just... Like you said, I mean, it's just one of the most boring movies that I've seen in a long, long time, and I really, really wanted to like it. I mean, from what I heard about it, kind of coming into it before I watched it, I was really prepared to, just really like the movie, and goddamn, that fell short.
So James, what's your rating and final thought?
Well, since you wouldn't let me go any lower,
no,
it's got a 1. It really does. The reason why I've given it a 1 is because there's nothing that I could find to, justify this movie. Really, I couldn't. And I tried. I mean, I tried to come back and be like, okay, maybe I can give it a better rating on, the opening sequence. Because that was actually really well done. I got to give it credit to the cameras.
Except for the poor bastards who were left and alone in a car.
But even that still was pretty cool. You actually kind of liked him. He's like, you know what? I've done my job. Later, dudes, you're on your own.
Exactly.
That's perfectly fine with me. I understand that. The camera sequences in that scene were good. I mean, I didn't think they were, groundbreaking. I've seen them multiple times in other movies. But I can't give a movie anything over, a 0.0 on a good sequence in the first 5 minutes of the movie. And that wasn't even a 5-minute sequence, I don't think.
That was like 2 minutes or something. Yeah. It was fast.
It was fast, but it was really well done. And then the rest of the movie was just a lie. I mean, you get really excited because you got this whole sequence, and then you're just like, what the hell happened to this movie? Where did it go? It got crappy.
Yeah, you got put up on cloud 9 and then dropped right back down.
I know, and then you're waiting for the movie to get better again. You're like, okay, well, that was a good part. Maybe it's got to get better at some point, and it just really never got better. So it gets a 1. I would go lower if I could, but we're trying to keep it,
reasonable.
Yeah.
So I gave this movie a 2, and there was a specific reason, because reading the synopsis of the movie, it sounded bad, and I was... After seeing the opening scene, I was like, okay, this is cool. They're setting a pace for the movie. And wow, I was let down more than RoboCop 3. This movie was horrible.
RoboCop 3.
there were parts of this movie that I was really that had so much potential. From the scenes that the little snapping with a guy was violent.
Yeah.
From just a few interactions of people, but this movie blew. I mean, there was. I give it a 2 just on my hope alone. Just on the hope that it was going to be better. I was really wanting to be wrong about this movie, because I really enjoy I really enjoy the fact that I was wrong in a movie that I thought was going to suck, and I was let down. I mean, seriously, even what's his name? The guy, the white guy from He-Man. Dolph Lundgren. Even Dolph Lundgren hated this movie. I mean, come on. They should have put him in this movie, because at least it would have been entertaining on his poor acting.
Yeah, and Dolph Lundgren is a smart guy.
Oh, yeah. The dude's a chemical engineer or something?
Yeah.
Engineer, right. His father was a chemical engineer also.
Yeah, he's a PhD. I mean, he's...
Studied at MIT.
Yeah, the dude's smart.
Yeah.
So the collective review, what we do is we take the three ratings, divide by 3. So the Real Flix reviews give this movie a 1.6. And if I could, I would really tempt it to give it to 1, because the 0.6 is undeserved. But yeah, we give this movie a 1.6. This movie, in all 3 of our opinion, sucked.
Yeah.
Horribly. I mean, if you want to see this movie, I'd wait till it was on ABC. Even Freddy Got Fingered was better than this movie.
Actually, there was some funny parts in Freddy Got Fingered, honestly.
So yeah, I would wait till
Again, self-aware versus not self-aware.
Exactly. Yeah. I'd watch this on the ABC, one of the alphabet channels. I would not rent this movie. I would not see it on pay-per-view. I would definitely not see it in the theaters ever.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Ryan. That was just.
I
gotta just say that's horrible.
Ryan Gosling owes you money for that.
Yeah, I'd send you I'd send you the $9 if I could. I mean, seriously, that's horrible. But I don't want to have paid for it either.
Exactly. So for Ryan Preston, James Stevens, and myself, Jonathan Charney, I hope you enjoyed the show. And this next coming week is Ryan's pick. So what's your pick for this upcoming week?
Yeah, not to put you on the spot.
Oh man, yeah, put me on the spot, huh? Let's see.
And it better not be as bad as Drive. I'm going to be pissed.
Shoot, I haven't really put too much thought into this, guys. Thanks for just really throwing me under the bus.
Well, I told you had an hour to think about it.
Yeah, we warned you earlier.
You did, and I completely forgot since then. Let's see.
Actually, do an 80s. Think of an 80s movie.
Do an 80s film?
Yeah.
How about Lost Boys?
Oh, my God.
Okay, so...
Are you kidding me?
You said 80s. That's the only 80s movies I could think of at the time.
I mean, Goonies.
The Goonies. Holy shit. Why would I do that to people?
Masters of the Universe.
Oh, there we go. Also,
are we doing Lost Boys?
First movie.
Okay, so what's your pick for this upcoming week? I mean, I know, before I start laughing even more.
Jesus. Gosh, I don't know.
You know what? Since you said it, I say we stick with Lost Boys.
Okay.
And I'm not looking forward to watching it again because it's been 20 years since I've seen it.
God, you know what? Neither am I. It's been so long since I've seen that movie. I don't know. Oh man.
So, the next week's movie is Lost Boys, and that's Ryan's pick. So blame him.
Yes, look forward to it because these are vampires that do not sparkle.
Oh dear God. Oh. Well, that's one benefit of it. Like I said, for Ryan Preston, James Stevens, and myself, Jonathan Charney, I hope you enjoyed this week's show.
Thank you, guys. And
if you have any more information, or movies you'd like us to see, please write us at. Please write me at john@theogt.tv or go to our website, thetheogt.tv, and leave a comment on this week's episode. Have a good day.
Hi, this is Rob Charney with Old Guy Tech TV, and I want to talk to you today about Windfall. Windfall has 2 outstanding offers for you to take advantage of. They have their 12-week business-only ad for just $60. That's just $5 a week. You're not going to find a better deal anywhere. Windfall has a rewards program like no other, a real windfall. Give us 5 and your ad is free. So refer 5 people or businesses and you get your ad for free. Visit Windfall on the web at www.shopthewindfall.com or call 530-621-1698. Everybody needs a windfall. Thank you, Windfall. See you soon.